Browsing the internet, I started hearing rumblings of an indie game that was so good that it got 100% recommended on OpenCritic. To my surprise, it was apparently a poker game. I picked it up and checked it out, and I was astonished that it was much more than just a poker game, and that it blew my mind away. Hi everyone, my name is Jeremy, and this is my non-spoiler review for Balatro for the PS5. The game was developed by Local Thunk and published by PlayStack Limited. I think the first thing that I need to mention about this game is that there's no story. This is just a game about playing cards. In terms of the visuals, the game goes for some simple pixel art visuals, and I feel like the key here is not so much the visuals, it's the animations. The way the cards move and the numbers appear when you play certain cards in a certain way and multipliers start activating, it's extremely satisfying. And it is especially satisfying if you raise the game speed up to the maximum. In regards to the music, the game basically has more or less one track, I think. And it's so relaxing, but at the same time so engaging with what the game is going for. So let's talk about the gameplay, because honestly, that's the main thing in this game. The visuals are simple, the music is simple, but the gameplay is where this game is at. Balatro is a poker-inspired roguelike deck builder. And I feel like it's very important to clarify, you do not need to know how to play poker to play this game. I picked it up and I did not know how to play poker and I got hooked. The game is divided into runs where you play until you lose and have to start your game all over again. Each run is divided into what the game calls antes, which is the level of difficulty, and there are a total of 8 levels of difficulty. Each ante has a total of 3 games that you play, one small, one medium, and the boss. To win a game, you need to play cards to reach a certain amount of points. You have a limited amount of times that you can play your cards, and you have a limited amount of discards that you can use if you don't like some of the cards that you have in your hand. You will have to use your number of plays or hands and discards strategically to try and get the right combination of cards so you can play one of the many poker hands. Each card that you play has an individual value that counts towards the total amount of points that you need to reach to win. But if you combine certain cards, you can form a poker hand. Like for example, 5 cards of the same suit gives you a flush. This adds a multiplier so you generate more points. You don't need to know the poker hands beforehand because the game has an in-game screen where you can see what you need for each type of poker hand, making it easy to understand for people that don't play poker. Out of the 3 games that you play per section, the most difficult one is the boss, which always has an extra challenge added to up the difficulty. After winning a game, you get money and go to the shop where you can buy cards, booster packs, and vouchers. And this is where the game gets interesting. In this game, there are multiple ways to get stronger, and I will explain each one. The first one is through the Joker cards. You can have a total of 5 Jokers, and they are not in your deck, they are on your field. And these have very varied effects, and you will have to read them and build your strategy as you go along. For example, one Joker could give you a fixed multiplier of 4, or another Joker could give you a multiplier of 10 if you have 0 discards available. There's a huge amount of effects that the Jokers can have, so you will have to read and choose carefully. If you don't like a Joker card, you can just sell it in the shop and get some money back. Another type of card that really helps you through the game are the planet cards, which can raise the level of a poker hand. For example, the Jupiter card raises the level of the flush poker hand by 1. Next time you play a flush, you get twice the amount of multiplier that the flush normally gives. Another type of card that really helps you out is the tarot card. These cards have, again, many different effects, and they can transform many of your cards and add effects to them. Another item that can help you through the game are called vouchers. Vouchers are expensive and add effects to the game's conditions. Like for example, a voucher can give you an extra hand permanently for the duration of the run, or it can make it so there's one more card available to buy in the shop among many other things. The vouchers are not cards in your deck. Once you buy them, the effects get activated until you finish your run. And besides these cards, there's a myriad of many other components that come into play in this game that add a lot of depth and complexity to the gameplay. The ones I just explained are the main ones. If you lose a game, you finish your run and you will have to start all over again, and you will lose the cards and effects that you accumulated. There's also a collectathon aspect to this game, if you're into that kind of thing, where there's a screen that keeps tabs of all the cards that you have unlocked. In terms of gameplay, honestly, Balatro has a ridiculous amount of replay value. Each run is pretty fast, especially if you master the main gameplay mechanics. The game ran smoothly and I had no frame rate drops whatsoever, which really helps with the engagement and the immersion of the game. So let's talk about the cons and the pros of this game. Honestly, the only con that I have is extremely small, and it's inherent to the roguelike genre, and that is that some runs can sometimes be frustrating. Obviously, there are a lot of random factors that come into play that affect how your run is gonna go, and sometimes these factors really work against you, and that can be very frustrating. But other times they can work in your favor, and that's another story. In regards to the pros, I have two big ones. Honestly, the first one is that it is simple and complex. And I know that that sounds like a contradiction, but honestly, the game is simple to understand and accessible. I didn't know how to play poker, and I started playing the game, and I got into it really fast. But when you start playing and getting very deep into the gameplay of this game, you really start to notice that the gameplay is very deep and complex, and it allows for a lot of creative strategies, which was really gratifying. The second pro is the most important one. The game is extremely fun, and I cannot stress this enough. This game is borderline addictive. The game is fast, snappy, engaging, interesting, and it stays like that no matter how many hours you play through it. So in conclusion, Balatro stands out as one of the most impressive games I have ever played. The game is accessible, extremely fun, engaging, and addictive, filled with a lot of complexity in its mechanics. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I played a game so good that I wanted to scream to everybody to go out and buy the game. Balatro is definitely one of those games, so go out and buy it. It's out on all platforms, and it is a game that you will not regret buying. For this reason, I highly recommend Balatro for the PS5 and any other console for that matter. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Hi everyone, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with our content.